The name's Bond. James Bond.
No. I am your
fathers, brothers, nephews.
Why so serious?
Cousin's former roommate.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am...
Matt the Man here on another Saturday. Here with my co-host, Zach and Zach. Zach, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Alright, so this past week or so, I haven't been too busy with any movie news. I know we got a trailer for the new Quiet Place. The movie comes out in 3 weeks. So, we're not here to really talk about that trailer. Because like I said, you'll be able to see the movie in less than 3 weeks now. So, no point talking about that. But we do have 2 topics we're going to talk about. And we're going to review the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I guess, season 1. And then probably there is going to be another season. So,
which is a little odd. But we'll get to that.
Yeah. So first we're going to talk about DC. Warner Brothers came out this week and said they are moving forward with a new Superman movie. It's going to be a black Superman. And they're also looking at a black director directing it. Now, in the article, whether it's Collider, whether it's Hollywood Reporter, they never said that there's going to be no Henry Cavill anymore. So this Superman movie could be almost like the Matt Reeves Batman film in its own little pocket universe, almost like even the Joker movie, where it's its own little thing, it's not connected to anything. That way Henry Cavill could possibly still return. Also, I don't know if this is also going to be the one that J.J. Abrams is going to be producing or directing, or because I know he was mentioning about wanting to do a Superman movie. So, Zach, what do you think about the idea of having a black Superman and a black director?
Yeah, good. Like, all good. Like, man, I there's 2 minds to think about this. They want to do a black Superman with a black director? Cool. Go do it. Does it make sense in the fact that you just had a very successful Justice League and all that stuff? No, it doesn't. Does it make the sense that there are numerous other black DC characters that they could do instead of taking the generically white role of Superman and then just making him black? Yeah, it's kind of stupid. It kind of shits on every other DC character. Like, every black DC character that's not getting a movie right now is kind of getting shit on because they're just saying, oh, we're just going to take Superman and make him black.
Is there a black Superman in the comics besides Clark Kent? I thought I heard one of the news outlets I read this week said there is a character who is black and is not Clark Kent. So
there's then been different people who take up the moniker of Superman, and that stuff. Maybe, like in the Death of Superman, there were several people who took up the moniker of Superman, but they didn't. It's like, to my knowledge, and I could be wrong about this, so I want to put that out there. To my knowledge, there is no Kal-El who, that Superman story that is black. Yeah, to my knowledge.
Yeah, the article never said Clark Kent or Kal-El. It said Superman.
Right.
So,
and if they kind of want to, if they want to play it like, if they want to bring in Cadmus or Star Labs or something like that and have them do generic super soldier serum to whatever and then make a Superman, I guess. But it's like, I guess the one thing that I think about this is like, what do they want out of using the Superman? Do they just want the name Superman? Like, do they want the backstory of Superman? Do they want the Kal-El part of Superman? Do they want just the powers of it? Do they just want the name brand value of it? It's like, there's so many different things of like what they're trying to get out of this. Because if they just like, if in the end it's not, if it's not set in Metropolis, they're not doing this, that, or the other. It's like, let's say it's set in San Diego and whatever. There's no Daily Planet. It doesn't exist. There's no Lois Lane. There's nothing else like that. But we got a black guy who can jump around, fly, Man of Steel type of stuff. Call up Will Smith. Hancock was a really good movie. I liked it a lot. And that's basically kind of what that was.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just like, is it just the name of Superman and the powers of it, and we're just doing something completely different with it? That's cool, I guess, but like, kind of makes it seem like you would want to go in the story of two ways. Like, it's an evil government. It's like, you would, if you did it that way. Let me restart. If what they want is the powers in the name of Superman, but not the Clark Kent, Kal-El, Krypton, and all that stuff, then just make it a, like, set it in somewhere else, do whatever they want, and then make, like, Superman a comic book in this universe. It's like, oh, we're going to turn you into Superman, and then he takes the name, or do something like that. But it's like, that doesn't make as much sense to me.
Now, I heard one of my John Campbell, another podcaster that I watch, he said, it would be interesting, let's say, this is a person from another planet, maybe not necessarily Clark Kal-El, but another figure from another alien planet comes down, and having a black Superman, they can dive into the racial tensions going on.
I would say
Now,
no, because because you're defeating yourself. That's the problem, is that you're, just like that we'll get into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they brought up several things several times, but guess what? They undercut themselves because what they said, oh, this is a race thing, but it wasn't a race thing of what they were doing. And we'll get to this in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier stuff, mainly the bank scene. I'll tell you now, the bank scene was absolutely trash in the way that it was scripted and everything else. But I would say no.
No.
I would not be as well, because you want to know if that's their goal.
Well,
here's what they could do better.
Well, let me ask.
Static Shock. Static Shock.
Well, they are making a Static Shock movie.
Right. So put all your effort into making Static Shock better, because guess what? If you wanted to do the racial stuff and all that stuff, that's an inner city kid in the comics and in the cartoon with a white friend who's more well off than Static. So you have the dichotomy there between friends. Mm-hmm. You can bring in the racial tensions if that's what they're going for and all that stuff. And Static Shock is a hero and one of the most popular heroes for like that younger age range. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember coming home from school and looking forward to watching Static Shock the cartoon on Saturdays and whenever I could find it. It was a great TV show.
Okay, but let me ask then, what if they set in a different time period?
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Like
during slavery.
Then why are you calling the Superman? Just make a superhero film about something. If they that's what doesn't make no sense. It's like, so that's when we get back to they just want the name brand. They want to say this is Superman and all this stuff. And you're going like, that don't make no sense, because if that's the one thing of kind of like why Superman doesn't exist in DC world, that Clark Kent doesn't exist in that time period, because it's a general knowledge that Superman would become supreme overlord of the world, because he would say, slavery bad, I'm going to go, laser beam eyes you until you all dead. And he would lead, slave freedom if that happened, because it's Superman and he is a Boy Scout and he is, that's what truth, justice, and the American way was Superman. And that is contingent on the most positive view of America, not the whatever someone thinks that America is doing or isn't doing or this, that, or the other. It's the Superman has always been the looking towards the best of this. This is what we say we should be. Truth, justice, freedom. And that's the ideal to live up to. And that Superman is the one to live up to that ideal, and to have everyone else around him say, I need to then live up to that ideal. That's why he's a hero. That's why he's one of the top heroes ever to be created, is because he's a character that, you're supposed to look at and say, I need in my life and in my power to then live up to, the dream, the promise that was made and given to all Americans and stuff like that. So I would say if they're going to set it in like a different time period and name it something else, just make a superhero film and name it something else. I don't know why, if you're not taking what the character is, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're just they're taking the name Superman and gonna trick everyone into thinking that it's Superman when it's just gonna be some film about something and the guy's gonna be super strong. And you're just gonna like, man, that man's super. He is a Superman. And that's all you're gonna have. But he's never gonna don a cape and all this other stuff. And it's just a strong man. Like Unbreakable or something. Like, okay. But I don't think that's what they're doing.
No, they're looking at also getting a black director on this. This seems more like a Ryan Coogler Black Panther scenario. Why? I mean, even if you're going to have a black Superman, why do you need a black director?
Optics. I mean, at this point in time, I like, the one reason why I think Black Panther was such was the cultural phenomenon that it was, is because Black Panther has been and will always be its own character. It's not a tokenization of anything. It was once a character that was this, and now it's this. It's like, Black Panther has always been the avatar of Wakanda, and what Wakanda is, and using vibranium and all this other stuff. And then, I guess, giving that the spotlight it deserves, and that's why it was what it was. And the amazing performance of Chadwick Boseman and everything else. And I think something like that kind of gets cheapened now that they're just basically saying, oh, we're going to do it with Superman, and it's going to be a black Superman, and we're going to get a black director and a black Superman, and we're going to do this and that and that. And it's just going like, yeah, but when people go and see it, everyone's going to look at it and just like, that's not Henry Cavill. Because you're going to have, if you're going to have some family walking in North Point Mall and say, you want to know what? I see Superman, and all it is a title. They don't even have the black Superman on the movie poster that's out in front of the thing. And some family's going to say, oh, there's a new Superman movie. Let's go see that. And they know absolutely jack nothing. They're then going to get in there and they go like, that's not Henry Cavill. This is weird. It's just like, I would much say that if their goal is to do a movie that can incorporate superheroes and racial tensions and all that stuff, do Static Shock. Do any of the other black heroes. I know Black Lightning is on the CW right now, but do Black Lightning. Yeah. And it's like, pick anything else. You could even do it. Pick I know Aquaman is in the process of getting their second movie. Do Calder, who's was Aqualad and all the other stuff. He was in Young Justice. He was black. That's, you get fish out of water twice because he's Atlantean and black. Mm. You could spin it all the multiple ways if you wanted to do something like that. But it's like, it cheapens this. I think what they're looking for is like, it gets cheapened in a way because it's like when you look at it, you don't get that depth of what they're going for. Because it's cheapened in a way because like, well, Superman's a white guy, so you just made him black and all this stuff happens. It makes the immersion into the movie like almost nearly impossible for some people.
Yeah, I mean, and even when it comes to directors, I mean, let's say that there's not too many black directors out there.
And highlighting a good black director, I mean, there's tons of indie black directors out there, so getting someone and lifting them up to that.
Well, I mean, I think if they're going the route that I foresee them going in with the more racial tension, I'm sure that's the route they're going. I'm not going to be surprised. I can see like a Jordan Peele coming in and directing it after Get Out and Us. I actually would not be surprised if they're already talking to Jordan Peele about directing the Superman movie.
he's one of the biggest names for it, so...
Yeah. Or, unless they go with more of an action route, then I would say Antoine Fuqua from, like, Shooter, Training Day, those types of movies.
Mm-hmm.
Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah, the one thing that, I guess, I would like to go and see this movie, but, and here's the big but, is that I am sick and tired of seeing, like, racial stuff. We have it in real life. Stop bringing it into, like,
Well, the problem is not
movies
even
and
that.
stuff, because I don't want to pay money to go see real life played out in a fictional universe. I don't care.
What if-
I want to go in there and, like, get away from real life.
Well, the bigger problem is not even that. It's about, okay, you're doing these topics now, while they're really going on right now. In 4 or 5 years from now, and then by the time this Superman movie comes out, if you go down the racial tension route, I'm not saying it's not going to still be there, but it's not going to be as prevalent as it is right now. So you're going to be losing half of those people going, okay, this was 5 years ago. Okay, I already saw it in real life. Can we move on now?
Yeah, it's gonna hit the point where it's just going like, I'm sick and tired of seeing this stuff, and it's like I want to go see. It's like now if they take it into and doing more Falcon and the Winter Soldier type route for it, I think it could pay dividends for it, and we'll get to this when we get to the full review of that. But I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the foreshadowing, treaded the line in this stuff, and they stepped over too far at points in times, and they got hit for it in the numbers, and then but I think what they got at the end of the Falcon and Winter Soldier, if they do that for just we're doing a generic Superman origin story, except he's a black guy this time. I mean, that's really lazy storytelling. But it depends on what the end is. If the end is Superman, unity, freedom, coming together, then cool. Like, you're getting, it's like, the story beats might be crap, depending on what they choose, but the ending is right. Because that's what the ending should be.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know. It's like, I'm excited in the fact that, yeah, I would love to have, like, another, have people see I think that's one of the things that Black Panther did, is that, a lot of people got to, they felt that it was like, finally I get to see, someone who looks like me doing this stuff and that. And it was just like, but also I think it was like Black Panther was kind of like in the right place at the right time, because it helped the wave of the Marvel Cinematic Universe kind of was riding hot when that happened. And then you have this, and I think it just hit at the right time to then go into the next, because, this wasn't the first, superhero movie with a black guy in it.
Blaine.
Yeah, like,
Blaine.
they made 3 of those.
Yeah.
And they never really got behind all this stuff.
No.
Wesley Snipes is an action star and has been in numerous other movies as the star. So it's like, like, I don't...
Yeah, I mean, like, we'll see what happens, but, it did come out that they are moving forward with a black Superman and a black director. Still no word on Henry Cavill, in or out still. So we'll see. But next we're going to move from DC to Marvel. And we already saw Monday, Marvel put out their little sizzle reel. Very unexpected. No one knew this was coming. And one of the movies that, once again, they teased like they did in last Comic-Con and then in December at their shareholders meeting that Fantastic Four is coming. We didn't get a release date, but I'm going to, once again, refer to my other podcaster, John Campia, who knows a lot of people in the business. He used to work in the business. And he did ask somebody in the business, why didn't we get a release date for Fantastic Four? And all the person said was, everything in that sizzle reel will be from now till the end of 2023. Which means we are getting Fantastic Four before 2023 is over. Now, on that other note, way back about a year or so ago, Marvel did put out a list of dates. Some of them had movies for those dates. Some of them had untitled Marvel films for July 23rd, 2023 and November 4th, 2023. So hearing the news that no, Fantastic Four will be coming out before 2023 is over leads me to obviously speculate and pretty much confirm it will either be on July 23rd or November 4th of 2023, which, if it goes to the July date, we're only 2 years and 2 months away from that. And if you want to go November, okay, a little over 2 years and a little less than 2.5 years. So, either way, probably before this year is over, we're going to find out who's going to be our Fantastic Four family. So, Matt, what do you think about this news?
I think cool. I almost would like to say she's like, I would not be surprised if they were just like the overarching goal is for this is like, we're just going to keep saying that we're going to make a Fantastic Four movie to actually get like, because there's a part of people, like there's a section of people who are super psyched about a real well done Fantastic Four movie. There's also a lot of people who when you say Fantastic Four, they see, oh, that really cruddy movie by Fox or those two cruddy movies from the 90s, which ironically enough are the best Fantastic Four movies that we've gotten so far. Like their their knowledge of all this stuff is not good. Like it's not positive. So I guess one of the things that they could be saying is like, so we're just going to keep saying, we're going to do it. And then, when we finally do it, hopefully by that time, people have like kind of washed the stink off of the name. Because it has it. Yeah. Fantastic Four has a stink on its name. And right now that stink is shitty movie.
I mean, like, they already do have a director, John Watts, who they announced back in December. He is the director of the Marvel Spider-Man films. They have a new Spider-Man movie coming out in December. So, let's say they go with that November release date. They'll have about 2 years of time to make the movie. So already he has a good track record. I mean, for all we know, they could already have the cast lined up.
Yeah, they can have all this stuff lined up and be like, they're chomping at the bit ready to go to, get started on stuff. But at the same time, I don't know. It's like, the way that I feel about this is that, especially if you're like, it's in the Fantastic Four, it's 4 people. It's an ensemble cast. And if you're trying to get A-listers for all 4 of those parts, it could be pandemic related. Like, realistically, like, getting everyone on, because now that everything's kind of trying to explode back into, life and everything else, is that you might have the 4 people that have, you might be close to signing or whatever, and all their schedules just don't work.
I mean,
so that's, and then it's like, okay, so we just, like, we might need to, like, plan to start filming in, like, December of this year because, everyone's booked.
Well,
already.
Not only that, but like I just said, John Watts is still currently working on Spider-Man.
Right.
And that doesn't come out until December.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not saying that it'll be up till December until he's done with the movie. But it could very well be up till even October, putting in the finishing touches, post-production work. So they might be saying, hey, when you're finally done with Spider-Man and you can really focus on Fantastic Four, we hired you, we liked your pitch, we like your ideas and concepts, well, we'll let you finish this movie before you jump right into this movie.
Right.
And have to battle both of them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's probably what, more than likely, it is what it is. I mean, I think if it was a different director, I think we'd be already hearing more than we have. Like when you look at the Marvel history, they announced like Chadwick Boseman over 2 years before Civil War even came out as Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
And it was over, 4 years till we finally saw him in his own movie.
Mm-hmm.
Even Benedict Cumberbatch.
Mm-hmm.
We announced him in 2014. His movie didn't come out until the end of 2016. So, that's why I say wouldn't be surprised by the end of this year, we have at least somebody cast in the movie.
Yeah, I guess the one thing is, like, since they don't have a better firm release date, like, it could be one of those, or they could be, a year later, or whenever. It's like, since they don't have this firm date in mind, they might not want to start the PR rolling on this stuff. Because that's half the battle of trying to build up stuff. I mean, that's kind of like, imagine what happened to Ben Affleck as Batman, Yeah, it's like, if for whatever reason, and I think Ben Affleck did a good job as Batman, but it's just like, but for whatever reason, if you announce a person and the general audience says, really? That can derail some stuff. And derail the perception of your movie. And the longer you let that cook, like if they said, whatever, if they were somehow, let's imagine this, if they were able to hide the fact that Ben Affleck was Batman for the entire Batman vs. Superman and all of that stuff, all you ever saw was someone in a cape and cowl, but you never saw his face, ever. They were able to keep all that locked up. And then first trailer came out, and it was like, in 2 months, Batman vs. Superman, Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, blah, blah, blah. 2 months later, people would have gone like, that's weird, that's really weird, but they wouldn't have had that time to, like, I guess get hate towards what Batfleck was when Batman Superman finally did hit. If people, like, were really angry that Ben Affleck was Batman. So it's like, the PR machine might also be a part of this.
I mean, I think Marvel has had a good track record with casting. I don't think that's... I mean, the Affleck thing was the Affleck thing. When you announce Affleck 3 years before the movie comes out, that's 3 or 4 years of waiting.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they announced him and then the movie came out a year later. That would have been better than 3 years waiting.
Right.
Is he going to be good? Is he going to suck? Blah, blah, blah. I personally, though, I do not want and I like these two actors, I don't want the it couple to be Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm. I don't mind one of the actors. I don't want both of them. And then and what I'm saying is I don't want John Krasinski and Emily Blunt in the role. Because I feel like that's almost like a cop-out. Like, everyone wants them because they're the power couple in real life.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like if they made this movie, instead of making the shitty Fantastic Four movies in the 2000s, but they decided, we're going to get the it couple at the moment. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Because they're the power couple.
No.
That's my point. Is that, and I like John Krasinski, I love Emily Blunt, but I feel like people wanting this to be them as the couple, the power family, I'm like, I like them and they're great actors, but I don't mind one of them being in one of the roles, but having both of them will seem almost too easy. And also because Emily Blunt is on the Disney payroll between Mary Poppins, she was in that Into the Woods movie, she's going to be in Jungle Cruise, that's coming out this summer, another Disney movie. That's 3 Disney movies and almost pretty close together for her. And I feel like that's almost too easy. Like, Oh yeah, we still got Emily Blunt on the payroll. Yeah, bring her in. She's a great actress. I really like her. But I'm also like, that's why I'd rather see John Krasinski, because he's as a character, because he's not as obvious for Disney as he hasn't been in a Disney film.
Mm-hmm.
So it would work out better that way.
I think John Krasinski would be a really good pick for Mr. Fantastic. I think that would be my prime pick right now.
I mean, he would be he's up there for me. I mean, I think there's others. Once again, the guy who was almost Ant-Man before Paul Rudd, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's getting up there in age. He's already in his late 30s, 40s now. So, hard to believe, but...
Yeah. See, I would still put Krasinski over Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And I like him, but it's just like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we also don't know what age group they're really going for.
I feel as if they should do, like... I think the best way that I think that they should bring this in is, like, they should already have these people as established pre-Fantastic Four. Then in the movie, they get their powers.
Because if you think about it, in the 2000 movies, they were adults. Grown adults.
Right.
In the recent, one of the shittiest comic book films ever made, they were more like teenagers.
Yeah, no.
So...
I think, like, the young, like, 30s, I say if you're going to bring them in, you want them to have had a reason to, like, not be on the radar, but still be very proficient in what they're doing. So, you want to make them... This is why I actually have a very big bone to pick with Marvel and the fact that they've already done space stuff, because that's kind of in the origin story of... the Fantastic Four and that stuff. So it's like, if you're already doing space stuff and you don't have a Fantastic Four, kind of stupid. So, you can make them part of S.W.O.R.D. or whatever, or like Nick Fury's thing up in there, or something like that, and then ergo something happens and they get their powers and blah, 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 this, that, or the other. But, like, I think the best way to do it is, like, I know it's been done in two different ways from the two origin movies that they've done, but, like, I do not think starting them with already their powers at the very beginning is going to be helpful to the movie. Now, I think they should get their powers within the first, like, 30 minutes of the movie. But it's like, you should do something that's somewhere in between, not year one, but almost kind of like how Batman, the Patterson Batman one is, like, it's Batman, but it's not an origin story. It's Batman in his second year of being Batman. We've seen so many superhero movies at this point. I don't care to have the Spider-Man learning how to sling his web, like Tobey Maguire on the top of the roof, like trying to figure out how to do his
We don't need to see Uncle Ben die 8 million times.
Right.
We know he dies.
But not knowing the intricacies of how the Fantastic Four get their powers and how that changes all four of them differently, I think that's an interesting thing to do. First 30 minutes, have them have the accident, whatever, they get their powers, but jump past the awkward, we're learning how to do our power stuff. Do it in a 2-minute montage and then give me the Fantastic Four. Like, make these people... I think the one thing that the Fantastic Four has always failed at in both of those movies is that all four of those people are really smart people. They're really good at what they do. They get their powers and they're freaking children again. And they don't know how to do anything. And it's like, these are, like, supposed to be some of the smartest people in the world. And you're making them idiots. So it's like, I would, like, love for them, like, John Krasinski's have the thing. He goes on and, like, I get my powers. And he goes like, this is really weird. And he figures it out in, like, 3 seconds. And he goes like, this is cool. This isn't so bad. Like, I would very, very much like to see, like, almost that instant acclimatization to the powers. Like, they can have their mental problems of going like, I was normal and now I have these powers. But I guess other than Ben, the Thing, no one's, like, has a problem with their powers. Mr. Fantastic Stretch, Invisible Woman can be invisible and do force fields and stuff. And Johnny, the hothead, can light fires and turn himself into a fireball. none of those three have really ever had like the moral dilemma of, oh my god, I have superpowers. What am I supposed to do with it? They go like, oh cool, I have these powers. Awesome, let's go do things. It's the thing that's the dilemma of, I was a normal person and now I'm Rockman.
Now, I mean, I heard this. Now, let me say, Peyton Reed, the director of the Ant-Man movies, has always wanted to do a Fantastic Four movie. Now, he's not directing the Fantastic Four, that's John Watts, once again, the director of Spider-Man films. But Peyton Reed did pitch an idea of, well, what if it set in the 60s in the first act of the movie. So they established themselves in the 60s, and then they have to go through the quantum realm, and then when they get out of the quantum realm, they're in present day. Almost like Ant-Man in Endgame, where he was in, at the end of Ant-Man 2, he got sucked in, he went into the quantum realm.
At the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
And that was in whatever year it was. And then he came out in 2023 in Endgame. So, not knowing that it's been however many years.
Yeah, because he went in right when Infinity War, the snap was.
Yeah.
Like,
right before.
Like, minutes before the snap, Ant-Man said, be right back, I'm going into into my bunker,
and
basically.
And then he went in and then
emerged 5 years later.
Yeah. So, I mean, that could... Like I said, we're getting Ant-Man 3 and the Quantum Mania. And it would actually be kind of interesting, especially since Ant-Man 3 comes out February 2023. It would be interesting if in that Ant-Man movie, because they do have Kang the Conqueror, too.
That's gonna be so weird.
And they did show the Fantastic Four in a scene in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Especially if Peyton Reed is like, I've always wanted to do a Fantastic Four movie, I can at least put them in for a scene, which Marvel has done with all their other movies, throwing in other superheroes in a moment or two. Where they're in the 60s, and then they jump and come into the present day.
See, the problem with this is the revisionist history that I always hate for comic books. It's just like, oh, you know this character. It's like they'll take something and they'll go like, oh, they'll have like, let's just hypothetically, they'll have Batman go around and just all of a sudden Batman will be driving the Batmobile and they'll drive past a billboard and it'll say like, you know, whatever, LexCorp or something like that, or just going like, oh, hey, I'd never known that Lex Luthor existed until we merged Batman and Superman together and all this stuff. But now it's just like, that stupid billboard that's been there for 50,000 years. It's going like, when you revisionist history crap, it cheapens the fact of like, of us as the audience of learning with the characters about stuff.
Well, I mean, no one like Batman v Superman. And like, Clark Kent, you're a reporter and you haven't known about this Batman figure all these years. He's literally right across the pond.
It's like, dude, cross the river and figure it out.
You've been on this earth since you were a baby. You've been a reporter now for however many years.
And there wasn't even, like, the joke in the bullpen, like, as someone who's been in the news business, you know, there would be oh, did you hear about the thing across the way? You know, typically, it's also the Daily Planet. So, you know, it does world news. I'm pretty sure they would touch about the crazy bat person in the town right next to them.
Yeah, I know some of that. Branding people.
Yeah.
I think that would be headline news.
Yeah. Pretty sure that would have made world news tonight.
But yeah, so that, like, the logic factor goes, huh? You're supposed to be one of the best reporters, and you're Superman. Please, answer.
Yeah, your super hearing hasn't heard, like, the distant scream of someone going, you burned me! Why the hell does it look like a bat? Like, what the hell?
So, yeah, I'm sure I will not be surprised if either the snap causes something with the Fantastic Four or the quantum realm, and they don't want to do an origin, but they already want to have them established in some sort of way.
Yeah, I mean, they could do something like they could kind of set up the thing in, the Ant-Man movie, or I would hate to say this,
or Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Yeah, so they could get their powers from that, but the more logical thing, and I hate to say this, they could get their powers while they're in space because of Captain Marvel.
Or there is one more.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, but their powers that's the one thing, is like their powers are because of space shit. So like you could, like it's not magical shit. It's supposed to be science-based shit that gives them their powers. That's kind of the reason as to why they kind of get their powers. So there's supposed to be that bigger science shit behind it.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is we know nothing about this Doctor Strange movie other than Doctor Strange is going to be in it and Wanda is going to be in it.
Right, 2 people with magic, not science.
But my point is we know nothing else about this. They are done shooting this movie. There's been no leaked footage, no leaked photos. We don't even know who else is in the movie.
That's probably because half of it's being filmed in whatever, like Pinewood in Atlanta.
No, they're done filming.
Right, no, but like if they didn't do that much, then that means most of their stuff is going to be on a green screen or in a controlled environment.
My point is, if they go into a universe, Doctor Strange or whoever, and in that universe, there's already a Fantastic Four family.
Yeah, I mean...
That's what I mean.
That's like the laziest way to write them into existence, though.
But it's also a way to say, okay, they've already been established in this universe. There's something happens and they, only in the multiverse of madness, something crazy happens, and they ended up going into the universe of the Marvel universe that is set up. Now, I think you got Captain Marvel, you got Doctor Strange, you got Spider-Man No Way Home, where if we see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, there's a slight possibility we see Chris Evans flame on into the movie.
Oh my god. Because didn't Chris Evans has signed on for whatever. That would be really funny.
A mysterious movie.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That would be the ultimate. We said he was coming back.
Yeah.
You guys all assumed Captain America. Well, you remember that one movie?
Well, we already know. We'll get to this in almost seconds, but it's just like Captain America 4. We already know who should be starring that film.
But, you know, that other movie that we bought and we own now, Fantastic Four? Yeah.
That would be...
That would be hilarious.
It would be hilarious, but it's like a joke. It's not like something that
it's like in WandaVision. No, that's not Quicksilver. That's Boner.
Which was stupid. That scene only encapsulates how shitty WandaVision really is as a series.
So, like I said, there is a possibility, like I've already said. They might have already cast these actors in the roles. We don't know yet. I think it would be great if actually at Comic-Con this summer, especially in July, which if they do go with that July release date, it will be exactly 2 years away. Practically almost on the date. And they said, you know what? We've been teasing the Fantastic Four to end Phase 4. We're going to bring out the Fantastic Four right here, right now. Like they did with Chadwick Boseman. We didn't know about him as Black Panther, and then they brought him out on stage and said, here's your new Black Panther. And who else did they do that with? Thanos. You want to meet Thanos? He's coming. Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
Get out here. And there you go. He had the gauntlet on his head, and that's how we were introduced to him. And that's how we found out he was cast. So, Marvel can pull that one, too.
Yeah.
John Krasinski, get your ass out here. What? Awesome. And then Evan Blade. 2 years ago. Yeah, we got this movie called Blade coming. Yeah, the guy in the back. Come out here. Mahershala Ali. I mean, so Marvel is known to pull that stuff.
Yeah.
So, maybe Comic-Con in another 2 months. We'll find out. So, we are going to move on to our final thingy here. It's not a topic, it's more of a review for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier that ended about a week ago, 2 weeks ago now. We're going to give our thoughts, positive, negative, and that's it. So Zach, start off.
This is realistically, the second try of Marvel TV on Disney Plus. I think WandaVision was a 3 strikes and you're out. And I think this one was ground rule double. Is what I think it was. Not a, home run. I wouldn't say like a full home run or a grand slam, but it was like, I think this proved that, unlike WandaVision, that yes, they can do this, I guess is the thing. Because it did everything that it was kind of like the goal of what they were looking for. I think they succeeded in what they were doing for. There's some stuff in here that doesn't make any sense. There's some stuff that a lot of people are complaining about online that they don't like, that they're just complaining about crap because, they're whiny little babies. But, and then they as we said earlier, they misstepped a couple times in their storytelling because, it was cruddy writing, or it was, as we were saying earlier, when you're bringing up some of the racial stuff, there's a big section of the audience that just like, man, I don't want to see this stuff. It's like, I'm sick and tired of seeing it in real life. I don't want to see this. And it's an immediate turnoff. So I would say ground rule double.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I think the action was great. The action scenes felt like, most of the Captain America movies. They kept the action pretty well done.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't feel like it was on TV. Like, that TV feel. It felt like a movie, cinematic feel. Like we saw with Captain America, Winter Soldier, Civil War. And I think the action was great. I felt like the season overall, I always felt like there was a certain point in almost every episode where I was like, okay, is it over yet? Like, I started to lose my interest by like the third act.
Yeah.
Up until the last 2 episodes. Last 2 episodes for me, 5 and 6, were the best episodes of the season. I think they had I like how episode 5, that big battle at the beginning, or like the Civil War battle with, the new Captain America, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and kind of mimic Tony Stark, Captain America, and Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I was going to, probably in most people went, oh, this is going to go crazy and out of hand now. No, they just went back to their hometown and fishing and hanging out with their family. And I like to see that personal, that side of the superheroes rather than always fighting.
Yeah.
Let's see their, they do have, Will.
They
Sam,
are human beings.
Yeah, Sam has a sister.
Yeah.
He has nieces and nephews. Let's go hang out with them. Barton has other things going on. And I thought the 6th episode finally wrapped up a good amount of stuff. I think you always knew that Sam was going to be the new Captain America.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like a no-brainer. I like Barton, his resolution with going to see the Asian guy again, and then, I fucked up. I killed your son.
That was, we'll get to that
nice.
in a little bit. But it was like, I didn't like, there's something that Marvel keeps on doing and as a plot device, and it annoys the crap out of me. And we'll get to it in a second.
I think the Flag Smashers really weren't that great. I didn't think they developed them as well as they needed to. Now, I'll say this too, knowing that, once again, with the pandemic and all, they ended up going back and reshooting a lot of the Flag Smasher stuff. Because originally, apparently, their grand plan was to release a virus onto people. And I think Marvel was like, oh shit, we're having that happen in real life right now. Let's change their motivations. So, and I think that got lost in the changing of things. Funny enough, like you were pointing out, that though they hit themselves on the nose with some racial stuff. But when it came to the virus part, they're like, no, we're going to leave that out.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, you hit on the Black Lives Matter.
Well, let's call the Flag Smashers for what they are, Antifa.
Mm-hmm.
Which, ironically enough, even though Antifa says, oh, it's anti-fascist, you are the fascists. Just like in real life, Antifa are fascists. Just like the Flag Smashers who say, Obi-Wan is da-da-da-da-da. It's like, you're fascists. The people who are saying, let's dive into some of this stuff a little bit deeper now, but it's just like, oh, give your overall rating first.
I would say 4 out of 5.
Okay. So I would say let's dive deeper into some of these characters. Sam had the best character arc, period. Sam, I would say out of character arcs, I would put Sam, Bucky, John Walker, everyone else. And that's how it should be. Because guess who your main character is? Sam. Guess who's your secondary character? Bucky. Guess who's your third main character? John Walker. So congratulations. You gave the best story arc to your main character. You gave the second best story arc to your second main character. You gave the third best story arc to the third character. Congratulations. You did a TV show and you did it right. Like, oh my god, I didn't realize that was so hard. Especially when the fact that, like, the WandaVision, Wanda was supposed to have the best story. Guess who should have had the second best story? Vision. Guess who should have the third best story? Oh crud, I forgot her name.
Agatha?
Yeah. No, not Agatha.
No, Monica Rambeau?
Yes. Feel so bad. Sorry. I hated that movie, or the TV series, so whatever. And then, after that, Agatha. So that's how it should have been. Guess what? Wanda had a story. Vision was just fucking around. Never did anything of consequence, ever. Like, you could have taken him out of the entire thing, and they still wouldn't have had anything of consequence. Other than being the impetus for it to happen. Like, it was absolutely terrible. But, like, so let's go back to the motivations. Sam had the motivation, and they touched on it. It's like, it's like a black guy carrying the shield. And I loved the dichotomy between Sam and,
Isaiah.
Yeah, Isaiah Bradley, because what Isaiah Bradley said was the exact reason as to why in episode 1, Sam gave up the shield. So he played Sam was able to kind of flit into all these conflicting emotions of I understand, Bucky, that, you know, that Steve gave the shield to me and he wants me to wear the mantle and everything else. You know, I understand, Isaiah, that, you know, I'm a black man in America and all this other stuff and all this stuff is happening. You know, he was able to flit in between these conflicting emotions and then, you know, make the novel decision to think for himself and do what he thought was right. I can't believe that is something that you're like, oh, novel idea. Think for myself and do what I think is right. Oh my god, that's so novel. But guess what? It is. And I think they did a really good job. I liked Bucky of kind of like moving past the Winter Soldier stuff. You know, you kind of showed him, you know, still dealing with, you know, the trauma and everything that he had and stuff like that. I thought that was really well done, you know. And then let's bring into the bigger thing of all this stuff as to the scene that I like and hate involving Bucky. And that is the scene in the apartment when the Wakandans come to take Zemo away. One of my favorite parts was they included the Wakanda people into this story. That was one of my favorite things, that at the end of that episode, he was going like, hey, you guys go into the apartment. I saw something. Boom. And they had that confrontation scene. I loved it because it connected Bucky's story that you've already had, that he spent time in Wakanda, that they did all this stuff from him and everything else like that. It's just going like, all right, that was really cool. My most hated scene of the entire scene was the stupid fight scene between the two pairs of good people, and all of a sudden we can't just fucking talk to each other. No. Fucking stupid Wakandans, and that's what they were, just wanted to start fighting the other people because of whatever reasons, and then they fucking let Zemo run away. Because they're too stupid fighting between each other for a stupid reason. The reason is, I didn't want to help this MFer. I want this dude to fry. You can kill this dude for all I care. But I need him to do X, Y, and Z first. Congratulations. If the Wakandans just let them do X, Y, and Z, you would have not had the problems. Everything, like, the quote-unquote bad things that happened for the Wakandans, like, the stuff that they didn't like, was only caused by themselves. They have only themselves to blame. That was, like, the stupidest thing of just going, like, hey, you're good, I'm good, we've worked together, we have a previous relationship, but because of some fuck-all plot device, you decide to be an ornery little bitch. And that's all that scene was. And that's why it was my most hated scene of the entire thing. It was just going like, why are we fighting? It's like, you're allies. Why are you fighting? It's not a good enough reason. I hated that scene. Just period. But I liked the fact with Bucky is that they were able to tie in the bad and then moving forward into the good parts and how he wants to move forward and kind of leave the Winter Soldier behind. And I thought that was really good. So, third, John Walker. I will say this. I loved John Walker's arc. Because it was almost beat for beat kind of like comic book wise of kind of what happens. He's a very proficient soldier. He gets, there's different stories of how he gets his powers. So he gets the super soldier serum somehow. But, he is, when Captain America no longer is Captain America, the government basically says, here's our new Captain America. And it's like, okay, cool. He goes, does stuff, and guess what? He kills people. Because guess what? When you take a person who is a Ranger, SEAL team, whatever, super military person, whose job is to go in and kill people on super secret missions, when you give him more power and then say, go complete this objective, he's gonna go kill people. So I'm actually surprised that it in the story arc it took so long for John Walker to kill someone. And then the best arc is you might dislike a character, but having that character be on an arc that's logical is what makes the best villains. And that's what it is. The arc was logical. John Walker, normal soldier dude. The government comes up to him and says, hey, you're a soldier under contract. Congratulations, you're Captain America. Go get a suit fitted. Okay, done. All right, moving on. Congratulations, we're going to parade you around to do PR stuff. Okay. He was a soldier being told what to do.
That's what they did with Captain America.
Right, but then...
Steve Rogers, I mean.
Right,
Yeah.
But when Steve Rogers died, frozen, and brought back, he was no longer military. He was Captain America. He became the icon of Captain America. He became the hero of Captain America.
Like before, like at the beginning, he was a soldier.
Oh yeah, and he killed people. The iconic scene in the trailer was them busting into the barn and Steve Rogers has the shield up and a pistol going bang, 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 bang.
And they paraded him around for a while.
Yeah.
In that montage of
Yeah.
him and the old Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got to see almost like the reverse of, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to show you the other side.
Right, basically it was kind of like Steve Rogers and John Walker kind of went through the same things. Soldier, told to do this, went on PR run, then did other things. But the main two things was, one was accepted, one was not accepted. And that was a key role kind of and theme throughout this is acceptance and all that stuff. So, and the one thing is that you might not like John Walker as a character, but logically, the cause and effect for almost all of his actions is it's not like something happened and you're going like, why did that happen? Like the Wakandans that I ranted about. but it's like there's a believable cause and effect for all of his actions, for all of Bucky's actions, for all of Sam's actions, and that's why those three characters had the best story, and it went really well. So,
what do you think about Sharon Carter?
That was stupid. They should have cut out the entire Madripoor thing, and just like that is where things got slow for me. Like, I don't know. I understand why they brought Zemo in and everything else, and they kind of wanted to do stuff with him in the Super Soldier Serum, and I think his relationship and his character's motivations, talking to and about super soldier stuff, like his conversations about how like all super soldiers need to die and stuff, like they're all abominations, and then Sam goes like, well, Steve wasn't, and she's like, yeah, but there's never been another Steve Rogers. It's like you had that stuff, and it's like it was like I liked those beats, but I feel at other times that just like it like weighed the story down. We spent time not getting to the point. And I guess that's the difference between having a TV show and having a movie. If you had a movie, I don't think you would have Madripoor. I don't think that you would have...
You wouldn't have Zemo dancing in the...
No, you wouldn't have... That was the stupidest thing ever. And just the... So you probably wouldn't have had Zemo. You probably wouldn't have had Madripoor. And it probably would have all been focused around Carly, John Walker... Sam and Bucky. And that's what it would have been.
Well,
you would have cut out almost every other scene that didn't involve those people.
Yeah, you wouldn't have you wouldn't have had Sam going back to his hometown and hanging out with his nephew and nephews and sister building a boat.
Yeah, no.
They would have cut that out.
You wouldn't have had that if it was a movie.
Or it would be like a quick montage.
Yeah. But like I think one of the things is just like the whole story, I don't know. I feel like the Power Broker stuff is almost like, yes, that's the person who had it, but it's just going like, the fact that it's Sharon Carter makes no sense. It would have made more sense if it was the lady I can't forget her name, who gave John Walker his new suit.
The actress, Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
Yes. Yeah. It would have made more sense if she was the Power Broker. It makes zero sense for it to be Sharon Carter. Other than the fact of, ooh, it's Sharon Carter. And that's one of the things, like, you did it, and why? It's like...
I think she might play a part in Iron Wars.
She might play a better part for something later, but the problem is that Marvel has never cared about the character. We care about Peggy. And then, Sharon was in Civil War.
And that's it.
Or not Civil War, Winter Soldier.
She was in Winter Soldier and Civil War.
What was she doing in Civil War? I can't even remember her.
She helped Steve with something. And that's why she was on the run, because she helped the enemy. Or, technically the enemy.
She's not even a hero. She's a former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. That's the other reason, is that, like, her motivations and all the other stuff is just, like, it's either contrived or generic. And I just don't care. And that's just what it is. So, what did you think about the Flag Smashers? Because I want to get your thoughts on them before I talk more.
They're alright. I know that was kind of underwhelming for me. I didn't feel like that. I think the story of John Walker was better than... Which I think if they took out the Flag Smashers and just focused on the three, that would have been it was strong already. I think it would have been even stronger.
See, I think that you needed a bigger bad guy, because the reason
they weren't that big of a bad guy at the end of the day,
and that's all you need them to be. Is I thought the Flag Smashers were exactly what they are, and what they were, and what they are was good, because what they are is in the end insignificant, but they were good enough for one movie or one series. And they were there to forward the plot along. Because the key point about all this is that John Walker is an anti-hero. He's an anti-hero. He's not really a villain. He's played the villain in, like, certain stories and that stuff. But at the same time, he's always been the anti-hero even when he's the villain. So having the more villain role and being at times more anti-villain than just pure villain and for it, I think was good, because you can kind of see the gripes that the Flag Smashers had with the world. You can understand that. You know, we weren't accepted. Then the blip happened, and half the world went bye-bye, and all of a sudden we were the unwanteds who were now wanted. But now everyone's back, and we're back to being the unwanteds. That's understandable. That's a clearly understandable arc. And to do what they were doing to then get the stuff. Like, oh, we got the super soldier serum, and then we were, out getting food and supplies and vaccines and medicines and all that stuff. It's like, okay, that's an understandable, like, progression of those characters. And then came the political BS into all this stuff. And then it's just going like, so what we're going to do is we're just going to start killing people. We're just going to kill all the people until half the people are gone, and then we'll be wanted again. It's like, yeah, you'll be wanted. You'll be wanted terrorists. You dumbs. Like, the whole thing of that was just like, it was a stupid thing, but it was also them just being stupid. Like, there was a stupid thing in the plot progression, but it makes sense because their characters are stupid. Like, I don't see, like, when you look at them, like, that's why the only disconnect that I see with the Flag Smashers was we're so tech savvy that we have a app that downloads and you can only see our symbol on things if you use, our app to camera and all this other stuff. It's like, okay, but then absolutely at no other point did these people show any smarts or whatever. And in the end, Sam accomplished their goal better than they did. And that's the funniest thing. It's just going like, and it truly showed that Sam had the right of it. And Sam's, the way that he was looking at things and the way that, he came and kind of his character evolved and took on the good, the bad, the ugly of everything that was happening. And he's brought that in. And as I was saying earlier, Superman, he's a character who's supposed to have the lofty ideas that everyone looks at and says, I need to live up to that. Sam very well showed the struggles of, this, that, trying to come to grips of just like, oh, this, that, or the other. And his ideal of what he was looking up to was what he always believed Steve was. Now, he's taken that step. And now he is what everyone else is looking at and now wanting to live up to. And you see that with Bucky's character, too. It's like, Bucky is almost like refuses at every single step to be what he was before all the bad stuff happened. Because if you remember, Captain America, the first movie, Steve was the skinny guy and Bucky was, the it guy. He was Mr. Popular. He was a soldier. He was the, in the special squad and did all this other stuff and everything else. He was Mr. A-Game. And then Steve comes in and all that stuff. And then he was, he didn't drop down, but he was never the lead guy again. And at that point in time, he was then looking up to the lead guy. And then throughout this series, he has at many points in time, he just go because his main gripe with Sam is, why didn't you? Like, why haven't you taken that step to rise up to there? Because Bucky never feels as if he is the one to do that. Like, he doesn't feel as if he can or even should do that because of all the terrible things that he was forced to do. So I think there's some of these characters were really, really well done. Other characters were just done poorly, but thankfully they were in such a small role that it's just like the Sharon Carter is like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's a power broker. Oh, whatever, generic black market person now.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
look,
it's so.
I thought the show was good. The arcs were good for the three main characters. We'll see what happens. Obviously, like I said, right after the finale, they announced Captain America 4.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to get a... Now, funny enough, during Marvel Sizzle Reel, they didn't mention Captain America 4. So they left out two black characters, Blade and Captain America. So, way to go, Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm sure people noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, and obviously they're going to move forward with another season because they ended the show with...
So they're gonna do a movie and another season.
Yeah.
I would just say pick one. Like it doesn't make that much sense because, and I'm saying this, I would love for them to do a Captain America movie and have Sam, and it's like, I feel bad that I have to say this, but Sam should be Captain America in the next Captain America movie. I feel like that's something that shouldn't have to be said, but it feels like it should be said if they're planning a TV series and a movie, because then it feels like they're going to do like Steve Rogers, Captain America 4, and just go like, you did this entire series that was about Sam taking the mantle of Captain America. The next logical thing should be a Captain America movie with Sam as the headline role.
Well, I think it is because he was on the poster.
Right, but it's just like, I don't get like there's certain things that doesn't make sense.
Well, the question is, I mean, I'm going to wrap this up real quick, but does that mean Bucky will be in Captain America 4 or not? Or will just me, Sam? That's... Because then, like you just said, why do a movie and a TV show if Bucky ends up being in the movie too? It's just just a shorter show.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe we'll see Steve Rogers show up in Captain America 4.
No.
I'm sure he will. Chris Evans is coming back for something.
Chris Evans is coming back for a super secret role. Guess what? It's Captain America! It's like, oh yeah,
Time
it's so
travel.
secret.
Time travel!
Oh my god.
Um,
Oh, I do
we'll
want to
see.
touch on something that we had teased earlier in the thing, but it's like the scenes that didn't hit. The other scenes that I believe didn't hit in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and you can chime in on what you think as well. But the bank scene makes no sense. Like, I understand what they were going for. In history, the bank scene with Sam, in which, you know, they were trying to get a loan.
Oh,
that
okay,
has been something that was history. That's American history. It happened. Redlining. It happened. Like, if you don't believe it happened, go look it up. It was a terrible thing that happened, and it should never happen again. And if it is happening anywhere, report it, because it's illegal. So, do that. But the problem that they had for it is that, they said that it was because, you know, the blip. So they already gave the excuse. It's like the excuse that they gave for the bank teller person.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't portraying it as the evil bank from like Spider-Man 2, where Aunt May wanted the toaster. And the evil bank was just going like, sorry, you're poor. You get nothing. It's like the guy, the bank teller, was at least making the attempt to do, you know, something good, and then gave a reason, even though it's a bad reason for whatever. But you would think that with the whole underarc of the story of the people who were dead because of the blip being welcomed back into the fold, and that was like the key thing of like the Flag Smashers, because they felt disenfranchised because of it. You think that there probably would have been this law's been passed, and if you have been brought back to life and you need a loan, this is a special fund set up for you. Like, that would be 101 for something like that. Stupid scene in the bank. The other racial scene was the cop scene in Baltimore of where they were. And the problem with that is that, like, that was just so on the nose. Yes, it's happened before. Yes, that has been there. But the whole thing of just going, like, Sam being the big one who's been noticed, like, you have in the series, Bucky is basically anonymous man walking around. No one knows who he is. He's walking down the streets of Brooklyn. No one knows nor cares who he is. Not saying, like, oh, it's weird that a dude's wearing a jacket and a glove only on the one hand. He kind of looks like that Winter Soldier guy and all that other stuff. Like, none of that. Absolutely no one cares. But, like, Sam is recognized left, right, and center. But then for that scene, Sam is literally recognized by someone 2 scenes earlier when he was walking that same street the other direction. So it was A, on the nose, B, badly done, and C, you had, like, 4 cops in there in inner city Baltimore, and they were all white. That is a bigger bunch of bull than anything else, because I'm pretty sure if you went to that exact same street and called the cops, I'm betting it's not going to be 4 white cops who showed up to that street address in Baltimore. So the fact that it was A, on the nose, B, unrealistic, and C didn't make sense, it drew people out. And there was a massive amount of people who just left.
Well, they did it again later on with when John Walker's friend gets killed. Who was it?
Battlestar.
Yeah. And he's a black guy.
Yeah, Lamar Haskins, right?
He's a black guy. And later on, I think the episode after that, Carly was like, oh, he didn't matter. And
that's what threw him into the rage.
And John Walker was like, oh, he mattered to me. But the way they said it was like, this is obviously a Black Lives Matter moment. Because he's a black guy that got killed. And this white girl saying, oh, he didn't matter.
Yeah, the Antifa analog basically said that
I mean, it was a little on the nose. Like, okay.
I mean, but that's I actually didn't mind that scene because it's true. Like, the fact that, like, there are shootings every day in Atlanta and Chicago and New York and all this other stuff, and it's like a black guy getting killed in gang warfare in Chicago, Atlanta, New York, everywhere else. And guess what? Not a single march. So, just like that's where I think the analog for Antifa was great for the Flag Smashers, because unless they can use it to what they give a shit about, they don't care. And that's exactly what Antifa is, so whatever.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, it was a good show. I think certain things could have been better. And yeah, that's about it.
The best scene in this was the Sam speech at the very end. Thought that also very well encapsulated what the series was trying to do, what it was trying to show, and everything else, something like that. And it was a very, like, I think that was one of the better points of writing in the series, because watching it.
Well, that, and then I think the Isaiah Sam scene, where he's talking about no black man would ever be Captain America.
Yeah.
With all the history we've dealt with.
But then I love Sam's answer to that. Like, I guess that was, like, the one thing that I think really got, we're 2 white guys talking about this stuff. But, like, the unity aspect of it is something that I think will always work better than the divisiveness aspect. You want someone to change or to do better or something like that. The easier way to do that is to say, like, I want us to come together and do this. When you tell someone they're stupid, they're evil, and they should just go and die, what are the odds that person's going to change? 0. So, in the end, Sam and his vision and his speech and everything else like that, I thought was great. Has terrible things happened? Yes. Are some terrible things still happening? Yes. Do we need to stand up against those terrible things? Yes. Do we all need to come together as Americans, as people, and, look and reach towards a higher goal to come together and do that stuff? Yes. And that is the perfect encapsulation of everything, of what that series was. And I think that's why I'm looking back on it fonder than I did. Even when I was going through it, because there was like a point in time where I just said, I'm just going to stop and just binge the last 4 episodes. Like, I stopped halfway through. I was just going I just don't care to see this anymore. I mean, the action was good and all this stuff, and some parts were good and bad or not, but I was just like, it's just like how you had said. It got started to run slow. Mm-hmm. So, and then once it finally wrapped up, it was like, all right, let's, boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that's the reason why I liked the Daredevil series so much. Because on Netflix, it all drops. Have fun. Watch it. Binge it all. Watch 2 episodes, then take a 2-week break and come back and whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like that is much
overall,
better.
I think, this was good, but it wasn't Daredevil or even the Punisher Netflix show, which I thought was better. Mm-hmm. So, Marvel, at least for me, they're 1-1. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So.
And that'll be it for today. Hopefully this week there'll be more news to come out than the previous week. And we'll keep you up to date.
And always remember to like, comment, subscribe wherever you are. The podcast is available wherever you want to get your podcast. If we are not there, let us know, and we will get there. Remember to like our Facebook page, Attack Bat Productions. Thanks for listening, everyone.